Shalom, everyone. This is Sade. I would just like to share some information on a tribe by the name of the Nuer people. Now, the Nuer people are these people here. It's going to be very quick. And also the Dinka people, which are the same tribe, but they have different names, like European always do. The government always changing our people name, change the landscape and all of that. So this is the Nuer people, which is the book that I'm going to be sharing today. It's not actually a book that I'm looking from. I'm sharing a PDF of the book, but you can go buy the book online. And I would suggest you buy it from ebook because they carry some really good, reasonable prices on their books. And here is the Dinka people. So you can see they're the same people, the same exact people. But for some reason, like I said, European always want to change our names and our religion and, just to control. They want to be in control of everything. So I'm going to share this right here. This is coming from the book, The Nuer People, or the Nuer Religion. This particular book would be the Nuer Religion. And there's another book on the Nuer people and their politics and so forth, their government, how they govern themselves. Now, I want you to listen real quick to this paragraph I'm going to read because it's coming from individuals that spend time with the Nuer tribes for years and documented them and, their religion, their culture, their consecration, their invocation. This is coming right out of the Bible. The sacrifices of ox and their suffocations. They documented on their death of victims and end of invocation, what they wear, how they train their oxen, their horns, and their prophets. They have prophets and priests. What else they had? They were saying how also they studied on other other traditions about the people. They're like I said, priests and prophets. They had document how they dealt with sin, the problem of symbols, the sacrificial role of cattle, the meaning of sacrifice, and the priests and prophets, and reflection of Nuer religion, and so forth and so on. This is coming out the book. I mean, when you're reading this book here, you're reading people that came from that tradition. So let me read this real quick because this is going to be very quick. I'm not going to hold you. It says, and this is coming from, his name is E. Evans Pritchett. This is the book that he wrote. This is one of many books he wrote on the Nuer and Dinka people and a couple other tribes. And we know that our people have been scattered. They also migrated, what they call the Bantu migration. They go into the places where they either migrated or was forced into name change, culture, not the culture, but the name change. They try to change some kind of religion and the culture. But most of our people, a lot of our people have kept biblical culture and the religion. So, and they're practicing it till this day. But what's happening is it's being hidden. The media is not going to reveal that to us as a people, knowing that we're the same people. They want to keep us separated and divided. So anyway, we know that God said His people is the sand of the sea. But I'm gonna get to that at the end. I want to make a comparison. It says, "I am, of course." This is again Mr. Evans Pritchett speaking. "I am, of course, well aware that." Let me enlarge this. "I am, of course, well aware that Nuer religion is very unlike what we know in general about Negro religion." Whatever you mean about that, because when they took us from the land, they took our religion, they took our culture, they took our names. One can say, what are you talking about? Other Negro religion. See the separation? Like we're different than the people here. We're the same people. You just took us from our land. We cannot, it says, one cannot even say that it is a typical Nilotic religion. It is certainly very unlike the religion of the Anuk of the Luo of Kenya, of the Akoli of the Allure or the Shilluk. Indeed, only the religion of the Dinka can be said to have strongly marked affinities with it, meaning the Nuer people. And it can be further said that in some respect, the religion of these two people resemble less other Negro religions than some of the historical religion. Of course, again, y'all anyway, y'all force us to worship the religion that we're working in, that we worship today. And the biggest two that we worship in is Muslim and Christianity. They have features which bring to mind. Check this out. So features, they have characteristics, attributes, quality, traits, trademarks, detail factors, ingredients. Check this out, features. They have features which bring to mind the Hebrew of the Old Testament. Professor C.G. Seligman clearly sensed this, as his account of the Dinka in the Nuer shows. And Miss Ray Huffman, an American Presbyterian missionary who spent many years among the Nuers, remarks that the missionary feels as if he were living in the Old Testament times, and then saying, in a way, this is true. Okay, talking about the custom, I'm saying the way they look, is they got the custom, they have to have the look too. So check this out. So this is the newer people he's speaking of that has attributes or have features, have the characteristics, the quality, the aspect of the trademark, the ingredients of the way they live and the way they worship and their how they live, as far as, you know, again, the sacrifices, role of cattle, how they have priests and prophets. They have priests and prophets among their people. So they're talking about two people that have similar characteristics of each other. And then you say here, then he said also the Dinka people. They're the same people. Newer people, Dinka people. I don't want to start clicking on all that. I don't need to, but because there's enough pictures to show the two tribes. The Nuer people, Nuer with a spear. Nuer people, one of the African most skilled. Here's a new female. African warrior of the Nuer tribe. They said also Nilotic man, a Nuer herder. They also said Abraham was a Nilotic man, and he was a herder as well. And his ancestor family was from Kush. They were Kushites. And then they migrated from West Africa into India. And that it was said how it was been taught that that Abraham was from the Mesopotamian, but his family, that's where he originated, but his family migrated from West Africa up through India. And there's plenty of history on that as well. And we have to understand too that Abraham was a priest, what they call a caste or a priest. So Abraham was a Harite, what they mean Hebrew, and we call it Hebrew, from Harite to Hebrew, same thing. That he was a priest before God called him. Before the Most High called Abraham, he was already a priest. He's from the bloodline of caste, from priests. So that's why he called Abraham, because Abraham had always served him and his family, because it was a priest line, going back to West Africa, migrating all the way through India. So excuse me for that. So anyways, I want to just go ahead and share that with you all. But check this out. So what is look at these people here, the Nuer people, the Dinka people. So these two people look alike, but this is supposed to be the people too. Dinka, Nuer, the people today. Now I'm not saying that we do come in all shades. So I'm not trying to say who is and who's not, God's people. But this article clearly shared and says that they mean the Nuer and the Dinka. They have features which bring to mind the Hebrew of the Old Testament. And then it goes on to say here that it's as if they were living in the Old Testament, being in the midst of these people, tradition, and the way they live and how they carry themselves. So anyways, like I said, it wasn't going to be very long. I just thought I would share that. But again, you can download this PDF off online. It's called the Nuer Religion, Nuer Religion, and it's by E. Evans Pritchard. He has 2 books on these two tribes. But I thought it was interesting. I have it and I've been reading it, so I'm probably gonna be sharing some more stuff because I'm telling you, reading this book and reading about their culture. And they said they started the research and also the traveling and being among the people in 1930. I think it was back in 1930s when it actually started. When it actually started living among the people. They lived among these people for years and documented their traditions. See how they documented and study us? They know who the people are, you all. They know. The problem is we don't know. And again, we have our peoples all over Africa. Israel's all over Africa, still keeping the traditions today. And they have what it says they call Ruah, the spirit Ruah, and you say Ruach, but they call it Ruah, R-U-A-H. There's just so much similarity to the scripture. It talks about the concentration, talk about the shrine for the person that was struck by lightning, sacrifice of ox and suffocation, movement in the wedding dance. The Rick is a Rick shrine, the concentration, the youth and the boy, the invocation, death and victim and end of invocation. It is just so much, you all. Prophet is called Gwyn, Gynn, but the name for that is prophet. So anyways, I thought I would share that you all. I think some very interesting, because it's going to be a very interesting read. And not only that, it's just showing facts that who God's people are, where they're at today, where they've been scattered. And just like he said, when he returned beyond the river of Ethiopia, what is beyond the river or on the other side of Ethiopia is West Africa. So the Most High is going to clean everything up when he returns and stop all this madness that's going on with lies and deception. So you all say that, shalom, and have a blessed evening.